Welcome to the Australian Sailing Rescue tutorial for WASP and other foiling classes. Foiling is rapidly growing at clubs across the country. With this growth come extra safety precautions that you need to be aware of, especially when acting in close proximity to the equipment or in rescue situations. With many of the foiling classes, the sailors are generally used to being in the water and self-sufficient. Both Learn to Kite and Learn to Wing courses place a high importance on self-rescue. However, there are still plenty of times where your club's safety personnel and coaches may need to provide assistance. There are some general principles that do need to be adhered to when working with all the foiling classes. Before we get started on each specific discipline, let's go over a few of the things you do need to be aware of when it comes to foiling equipment. The foils are sharp and fragile. Avoid touching any part of the foil or mast to prevent contamination, especially the very sharp trailing edges. Don't kick your legs around when in the water next to a foil or board. Always rest the foil on the ground and on a soft surface when it is attached to a board. Never turn your board over when launching until there is sufficient water to prevent grounding. This includes allowing for sinkage when you stand on the board. When returning to shore, do not run the foil aground. Step or jump off in sufficiently deep water safely. Never place foils near the sails in the boat park and avoid putting a kite foil downwind of a kite. Ask for help to attach the rig to the board if you are in danger of resting the foil on hard or sharp surfaces. Simply put, damage or contamination to a foil can actually increase the chance of an unsafe crash and injury to the sailor. When coaching from a rib, it is important that you have the standard safety equipment as normally required. However, when coaching foil classes, there is extra equipment that you may want to consider. Always ensure that you have life jackets and a kill cord, your standard first aid kit, radio or other appropriate form of communication fully charged, tourniquets and an inflatable boot. A good example of this is the first aid kits that are carried by the NACRA class. Today we're going to cover 3 scenarios that you will likely encounter while coaching foiling classes. The first scenario is going to be for general assistance, either for communication or coaching purposes. The second scenario is where the sailor is injured and may require first aid or to be detached from their equipment. And the third scenario is a situation where there has either been gear failure or the breeze has dropped, and the sailor will require assistance to get themselves and their equipment back to port. General assistance or coaching. Confirm visually that the sailor needs assistance and ensure they are aware that you are about to approach. Approach the sailor slowly and keep them on your downwind side at all times. You may have to assist the sailor in their final approach to the coach boat. Maneuver the windward side or wing of the boat onto the rib. Have the sailor help secure the craft so that it stays stable. When ready to leave, assist the sailor back onto the boat and help push them away downwind of the coach boat. Rescuing an injured sailor. Do your best to communicate that you are coming to give help. Keep in mind that this might not always be possible. As mentioned before, approach slowly from upwind. Be ready to attempt to secure the vessel against the downwind side of the rib. If the sailor requires treatment, bring them on the boat first and have them sit somewhere safe in the rib. If urgent treatment is required, leave the boat and go back to the beach. Wind drop and gear recovery. Most sailors will know how to right a capsized vessel, but here's a demonstration just in case. Try to have the bow of the boat either into the wind or 90 degrees to it, and ensure the sailor approaches the foils from the leading edge. Ensure you're not too close in the coach boat as they right the vessel to stop a collision occurring as the boat comes up. There are a few ways to tow a boat using your rib. The easiest method is to tow the boat alongside the rib, with the windward side or wing along the leeward side of the coach boat. Depending on the setup of the boat, some sailors like to undo their main sheet while they do this. Moderate speed to ensure the boat doesn't foil, and have the sailor steer the boat. To tow using a line, disable the ride height adjuster and attach a tow line to the mast. When tying a knot, make sure it is easy to undo. Here is a bowline with a self-releasing tail. Release the boat and slowly ease out the tow line, ensuring not to foul the propeller. Some sailors will find it easier to tow with their legs hanging in the water behind the boat to add stability. Once you have finished towing, stow the line away neatly to ensure it is ready for when you next need it. If you have any more questions or queries about the content that you have seen today, please get in contact with your General Manager.